What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to Top 5 Comics of December 2024. Yes, we're in 2025. Yes, we're halfway through January, but we are finally getting to the goods to wrap up our year. And of course, I am joined with my main man, Dolan. Drew, how are you, brother?
Hi. I'm doing well. Just a little tired, just between my day job and uh, editing art, doing reworking scripts and getting ready for conventions. I am on top of the weather having to deal with. I'm busy and tired.
Yeah, you're like swimming in snow and stuff like that.
Yeah, not fun. Especially when
No.
it gets hard. Gets hard and becomes ice, and it just doesn't melt. It's just there for several days, if not weeks, and it's frustrating.
Yes. When it gets hard, it's not. Yeah, we never really get snow. We always just get the ice. So I feel you there. Like once it freezes and it's on the road, it sucks.
Yes.
But hopefully you'll get a reprieve until like next week when you get another large dose of it coming through.
Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I'll pray for you for when that happens. But yeah, so I will say we're wrapping up our December books tonight. We were recently on Max's channel, wrapped up the year with books, and if no one got a chance to go see that, go look at our top picks for 2024 because it's a great stream. And yeah, Drew, I will put this out there, might have to bounce early tonight. Work might be intervening. So if that happens, I'm going to man the ship. And I'm going to do my best Dolan impersonation. So we will go from there. I do want to give me 1 second. I'm trying to get this image to load, and I'm having issues, of course. You are currently working on a project, correct?
A as in mini Secrol.
Yeah, mini, just a few, just a tiny few,
Mini.
a few. But one, I think you're going to be debuting some teasers for at a convention soon, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. One of a few be debuting at a convention coming up, and next month in particular.
Nice.
Yeah.
If I can get this circle to stop spinning, I will pull up. Yeah, there we go. Jesus, mother bear. We're professionals around here. Look at that. I'm going to let you gush on this cover for a little bit and kind of discuss what it is.
Oh, I've gushed over this for the longest time. This is all illustrated by hand by the incredibly talented, phenomenal Vu Don out of Vietnam. I've done several projects with him so far. We got another one, hopefully coming out with Unholy Nightmare number 2. So this is the cover for Unholy Nightmare number 2 for the preview edition, which we will be debuting at MegaCon next month. These will be limited quantities, so we're probably going to be anywhere between probably 50 to maybe 100 copies, period. That's it. And you'll be able to get them signed by me, maybe Aaron Sparrow. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Vu is an incredible artist. I hope more people see some of the he's got coming out in the next year or so, because this guy, he is beyond immensely talented and underutilized. And I hope we get to see more of him in the future. And you guys will from me, including one of my projects.
I'm just going to second how fantastic he is. And have you been sharing about how you came in contact with him or no?
No, it's more like, yeah,
I think it's a fun story.
It's cool. He reached out to me, which was interesting. He saw the artwork and everything for Unholy Nightmare, and he sent a piece of fan art he'd illustrated of the Recluse. And I was blown away. I saw it early, like one morning. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I asked him, like, hey, man, this is amazing. How'd you do this? He said, I did it all by hand. Took me like a couple hours. I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is amazing. And I'm like, dude, I'll pay you for this. I want this to be a cover. And he's like, oh, let me do it again. I could make it better. Like, and this is what he did better. It's like, oh my god, this guy is insane, and I really cannot wait for everyone to start to pick this copy up and hold it in their hands, realize how beautiful it is, and
Yeah.
to see the other stuff we got coming out from him.
Yeah, I'm excited that we're finally, well, I say we. I'm excited that you're finally showing his work because it's something we've been trying to keep quiet. And I mean, purposely trying to keep it in the pocket for a little bit. But I've seen way more stuff of his, and I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, did it all by hand.
All by hand.
This guy's insane.
I love, there's a certain project that I'm not going to discuss or give details on that y'all are working on, that when you were sending me updates, I was like, dude, this is unreal. Like, this is blowing Big Two away. Like, it looks so freaking incredible. So just freaking insane. So kudos on Snag and Vu, and I can't wait to see what all you guys have planned for the future.
Thanks. Me too.
But we're going to go ahead and start focusing on tonight. I do want to say hi to the chat real quick. So we do have Cajun Corey in the house. Hey, guys. What's up, Cajun? How are you doing, brother? We've got Zax. Josh, it's Zax. Good to see you, man. I hope the life is well with the new pup. We have the one and only Flaccid Phoenix coming in the house. More men need to gush over this. More men do need to gush over this cover. I agree. It's bomb.com. So, yeah, good stuff. But we're going to go ahead and head into tonight's topics, go through our list. I will say this was a more difficult month for me. We didn't have a ton of solid debuts. So hopefully that's not the case with you. And I know it's not, because we got a ton of books to cover. But we're going to go ahead and jump into honorable mentions. And Drew, keep in mind, there are two spots where I took honorable mentions away because I will be discussing them. But we will get to those in my list. But
Okay.
Starting off your list, we have Conan the Barbarian number 17, written by Jim Zub with art by Danica Bryan and colors by, well, you know, that guy. Joe Canola.
Colors by, yeah, it's drawn by, illustrated by Danica Bryan, but yeah, the colors by, but so this issue, it's good. It's a good issue. I wouldn't say it's bad. I wouldn't say it's great.
Right.
The art is good. I mean, it's awfully, I'm not going to lie, hey, it's awfully brave of a woman to draw scantily clad next to naked ladies in a comic book. I'm like, hey, good for you. That's amazing, you know? And more, all the kudos to you in the world, because like, there's no way a woman would have done this 5 years ago in the interiors. But yeah, it's a perfectly serviceable Conan comic. And yeah, I'll say like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's fine. It's not my favorite. And her art, look, it's one of those things where her art isn't bad, but it just doesn't compare to what we've been getting. And that weighs rather heavily on the book, but also the issue just wasn't, it didn't deliver the punch that we come to expect from Jim in these Conan issues. So
correct.
You know,
yeah,
we'll see where it goes from here. It's definitely not like the death of the book or anything. Like, it's still on the list here for a reason. It was just a little bit of a dip in quality.
Yeah, and it's like, she's an artist, like, okay, she has got a quality, like, I see it like a house style from Marvel. It's like the style she's got. It's like, that's fine for there, but here it's like, no, you gotta step the game up.
Exactly. We have JD Petty in the house coming in with, so is Sandman still worth reading?
Sandman Mystery Theater is amazing by Matt Wagner. Follows the Golden Age Sandman, Wesley Dodds. Yes, I do recommend Sandman Mystery Theater. Is fantastic.
What about Neil Gaiman's Sandman?
Oh, that. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been a fan of it. I read the first volume. I thought it was fine. It's not for me. It's not for me.
It's all right. Some of us just have bad taste, and it's fine. No, I can understand how someone would like it. I know a lot of people are going to be throwing shit about what's going on with Neil. I haven't read the full article that just came out like yesterday or whenever.
Well, and the funny thing is, we've all known about these accusations for the last year or so. They've all been out there. It's just that the media, probably Netflix, has just really kind of downplayed or squashed those, or quashed. Would this be a case of quashed or squashed? I'm not sure. Quashed. Okay, of these rumors and accusations. But now, hey, it's out there for the world, and you can't hide this.
Nope. But look, when it comes down to it, I'm a firm believer of like art can still be appreciated, despite the creator. But that is completely up to your choice if you want to do that or not. If you feel like you can't support a creator, I get it. If you think, hey, that person's terrible, what they did's terrible, but this was a damn good book, then I get it as well. So.
Yeah, and look, I'm not gonna look. We can. How should I say this? No one's a saint by any means, and I'm sure a lot of the guys from the 30s and on in comic books, 1930s and on, were not saints. I'm sure a lot of them actually did some pretty heinous shit to other creators that they worked with, but nothing like this. And unfortunately the unfortunate thing for Neil, or fortunate thing, is that there are NDAs. But we'll see what happens. But for right now, they're just accusations with NDAs.
Yeah, agreed. Accusations with NDAs. So we'll see where it goes. And well, I'm sure we'll talk about this more next week when we have Culture Pop, because we'll have a chance to like really dive into it. Real quick, one more thing. We have Salmon Outdoors coming in with howdy, folks. Hello. I believe you're new here, so welcome. We're going to talk about some nerd stuff, specifically comics. So enjoy. Drew, we're going to go ahead and move on to your next honorable mention, which is Geiger #9. So give us a little detail about this book and why it's here, but maybe not in your top 5.
It's another one where... Well, actually, I don't think Gary Frank did the art for this issue. I think this was Paul Peltier that did the art for this one. I think I might want to double check that one.
I will double check real quick. I pulled this from League of Comic Geeks.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe I thought it was the wrong issue, because I thought it was Paul Peltier issue. But yeah, I thought it was a perfectly serviceable issue. It's a pretty action-packed issue, but it's fine.
Yeah. I think one of the things with Geiger, and we've talked about this before, it's like right on this cusp of it's good, but it hasn't fully hit great, and it kind of keeps teetering right there. And it's like, I'd love for something to happen to really push it into great.
And I think with this latest issue, we're actually going to be getting there. Yeah.
And what is the, God, I'm blanking on the kid's name. The like sidekick.
Him. He's just the knight. The armored knight.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I feel like if anything, that has added something.
It's added some levity, and it needed that. And because in the very first volume with the kids, there really wasn't that levity. There was like a dark humor. There's a dark sense of humor with like everything going on in Vegas. But there's actual real levity here with that guy and like getting under Geiger's skin. It's hilarious. So I enjoy that.
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next honorable mention of the night, and it is the Magic Order 5, #3. Now, I am behind on this. I read the first issue, but I haven't picked it up since. Give us a little insight of what's going on, because I know the first issue kind of had a little bit of a unique start.
Yeah, so it's following Cordelia and repercussions for actions that she had taken in the previous volume. And the first few issues had been her set up to believe like everything that's happened to her, it was all part of her imagination, just going. She's been going crazy. But in this issue, it's actually revealed, oh no, it actually is true. Your life is real. And we get to see like this person taking over dogs, and it's trippy, it's wild. It's one of those things I love about Mark Millar, is that he has such a vivid imagination, and what he does in the Magic Order in every volume, it's always crazy, fun, and wild. And it's like, hey, if you're incorporating magic, you got to get wild and crazy with it, and he does in this, especially with what he does with animals.
Yeah, this cover looks weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and the only reason why it's kind of lower is that I really felt like he could have played out the Cordelia being crazy for a few more issues, but it
Right.
ends in this one. It's like, damn. Okay, it's fine.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of the there's a curse and a blessing with him doing these short pocket, like 5-issue stories or 6-issue stories of it really lets you get a punch in, but sometimes some of those story elements like really could use just a little more room to breathe.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next honorable mention, we have Nightclub 2 number 4. Now this I did read, and this is a bit of a fall from grace for you. So I would really love to hear why you feel like this kind of dropped from being in your top 5.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a fall from grace. It's still a great. I enjoyed this comic a lot, but it's just compared to everything else that came out, it's like, shit. These other books from DC were amazing, but in this one, I did enjoy this one. Still, it's dealing with this is the turn. We realized that the guy we've been following. It's like, oh, the chick that he thought was in love with him. Nope, she had bidden all of his enemies in high school, and it's pretty much them getting their revenge on him and taking control. And it ain't pretty at all.
Yeah, so we first get the glimpse of that turn towards the end of issue 3, and this issue is those bullies, I guess bullies, really kind of letting loose. There's I was on board with this until the very end of the issue. And they do something at the end of this issue that I was like, man. I mean, on one hand, I'm happy, and on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like you should have just let this be and not have done this to need to fix this. I'm trying not to give spoilers away, but I mentioned this in our stream with Max. They pull it up and back where they have events happen, and they set motions to undo those events. And that's almost, I always cringe when that happens. So, but no, the book is still good. It was just moving. It was at great, and it fell to good for me with this. So we'll see how it wraps up, because is it 5 or 6 issues for this?
I believe it's 5. I think because every series he's done has been 5.
Yeah,
so.
He's got one right now that is at 6 issues for whatever reason, but I can't remember which one it is. But it's Mark Miller. He can do what he wants. We're not going to complain. We're going to be happy.
More the better.
More the better. Moving on to the next honorable mention, we have Sacrificers number 13 by Rick Remender with art by Andre Lima. And these names. Arulo.
There you go.
There we go. We're going to run with it. And colors by Dave McCaig. So we haven't really talked Sacrificers recently, but it's taken quite a big shift from where the story started to where we are, especially with our lead character, Pigeon Boy. So go ahead and share kind of why you picked this and what's working for you now with this kind of change of pace.
Well, I'm really liking it how it's really action. He's become like a Conan type character now. It's hilarious. And if you're not familiar with the series now, the way it's really started off, this is not what he looked like. If you're looking at this image right now, he looked like very impish, very weak, and it's an individual of blind faith, believing in his gods, and ultimately, wanting to fulfill the sacrifice to keep his people alive and sustained. But then he discovers the real truth behind the gods. There really aren't that special, in that they've just been using the others to stay alive all these years. And he eventually finds a way to become powerful, and he's taking out the gods himself. So and he winds up in this issue, this planet winds up on this more or less proletariat planet, power to the people. But he does call out the one leader. Hey, eventually there's always going to be one guy in charge of the proletariat. But he asks them, hey, you want to join me on my adventure of taking down the gods? Hey, Got to read to find out. It's a fun, action-packed issue. You guys got to check this out. This is actually a very, very fun series. Rick's a very talented writer, and he's had some misses. He's had some hits. This is a hit.
Yeah, every writer is going to have a miss at some point, but I will applaud Rick because he can deliver a variety of genres and stories, and that's not always the case with some writers. Some writers are good, but they fit in their little pocket, and that's all they can deliver. I mean, he kind of just is he can do high fantasy like this with Sacrificers. He's got Grommets, which is a total 80s nostalgia, fun romp. He's got what was the X book? I always want to say X-Force.
Uncanny X-Force.
Yeah. And I always get confused if it's X-Force or X-Factor. But yeah, Uncanny X-Force, which is freaking brilliant. If you've never read it, go read it. But
great art too.
Yeah, the man can deliver. And then sometimes he misses and we call it a day. But
like the scumbag. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's got some other books that'll be coming out soon, so there's a good chance, hey, they might pop up on this list in the near future. Before we move on to the next honorable mention, I do want to verbally say hello to Raphael Ponce. What's up, Vatos? What's up, Raphael? Nice to see you here. And we have the vagina himself, Maxfield Von Priestley, coming in with Sacrificers. Woo! I will plug his channel again, MVP. Go check it out. We discussed our favorite books of 2024, and he also made like a little side, less cool video that's shorter if you need a shorter video. But the main thing is the live stream where we, you got Dolan, myself, and Kyle all giving the best takes, and then Max comes in with his predictable take of what's going to be number one. What a loser. Drew, moving on to our next honorable mention, we have G.I. Joe #2, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Tom Riley and colors by Jordi Belair. The debut of this was a really fun, action-packed kind of setup. It was one of those things that was written incredibly well. If you read Duke, it only added to that story. If you didn't read Duke, you're still coming in blind, but you're set into motion with ease. Where does the second issue go, and how do you feel like it helps the story overall?
Yeah, this was still a very fun issue, and it pretty much this is following the fallout from issue 1 of G.I. Joe. The team is kind of recovering, and you really see how the Joes are really a shit show right now. Like, they're not listening to each other, not really following each other. Duke is really not sure of himself. Then you got the new guy coming in. He really does not trust this guy. I don't trust the guy. But we also see that the Cobra Commander, they've got their shit together. They know what they're doing. They're organized. So really, it doesn't look good for the Joes. And like I said, there's a lot of action in this as well. Great dialogue. Yeah, it's a fun issue.
Yeah, I like that you referred to them as the Joes, and I'm suddenly wondering if you had our group together, Max, you, Kyle, me, Aaron, what would we be called? The Chads, the Chuds, nerds.
I kind of.
Drew started talking and then we lost him. Womp womp. Well, hopefully his volume comes back soon, because we could use him. While we're waiting on his return, I do have Mrs. Sassy Sasquatch coming in the house with Joshy and Kisses. Hello. And Max is coming in with the... look, we can run with the Chuds. Why not? So, he died. Drew died. Well, we're going to look and see what was next on the list and see if I can potentially talk about it. Oh, no, he's back. Perfect.
I'm back.
Back. I was like, we're about to go for the solo thing and see what happens, because it would have been, all right, Flash Gordon #5. Okay, this is written by Jeremy Adams, who is killing it. Before we discuss this book, I'm going to say Mark Miller did an interview with Jeremy Adams on his channel that is fantastic. And if you're a comic book fan, go check it out. Or if you're just a fan of storytelling and media and you don't like the kind of direction that a lot of media and entertainment's been going, and you kind of like this more conservative, not so out there takes, I would also recommend going to watch it because there's a lot about him and his personal life that I thought was really nice to listen to and hear. But Flash Gordon #5, written by Jeremy Adams, art by Will Conrad, and colors by Lee Loffridge. This continues just to be a fun, fast-paced, adventure, epic story. And we're only 5 issues in, so I can't wait to see where he takes this long-term.
Yeah, same. I've been enjoying each and every issue, and one of my theories about who this robot is, hey, it turned out to be true. We find out what happened to Dr. Zarkov, and he has become the robot that's been on the ship. And we learn more about his past, what he was like when he was a child, as well as we get to see the continued fallout from life on the planet that they've crash landed on with Flash Gordon and Ming, and how they're trying to survive. And it's a very fun romp. There's a lot of characters and a lot of I love the Dr. Zarkov stuff because it's so interesting. It's so different. It's like it's the B plot, and I'm like, wonder where they're going with this. Wonder what he's going to end up doing. But yeah, it's a very, very fun series, and Jeremy Adams has brought life to a almost 100-year-old pulp character now, and it's fantastic. And it's one of the best books out right now. Yeah,
and a pulp character that doesn't really garner a lot of favor when it's mentioned. I mean, it's something that's kind of really fallen out of pop culture with younger audiences, and it's getting introduced to a lot of younger audiences for them to kind of experience and learn about. So it's fun, man. Look, we're in a fun age between Conan and this, and even Space Ghost to a degree making its comeback. It's a lot of audiences are getting introduced or reintroduced to great characters that deserve the spotlight they're getting. Speaking of, I didn't hit that on purpose. That was an accident. But speaking of, the next honorable mention is Space Ghost #8, written by David Pepose, art by Jonathan Lau, with colors by Andrew Dahlhaus. We're in a new arc now. Kind of, it's weird. It's not really fully arcs, even though they're trying to present them as arcs. It's all kind of just like a slowly paced arcing character arc type thing. But tell us about issue 8.
Yeah, and most issues have been kind of self-contained. Well, most, but some have been two-parters. But yeah, and this really is an ass-kicking issue of Space Ghost. And Space Ghost just gets his ass handed to him in this, and it's pretty much from the guy who, spoiler alert, destroyed his family, destroyed his planet, and it's Space Ghost getting his revenge, and it doesn't go the way he wants it to. Yeah, this is a fantastic issue, very emotional issue, and Jonathan Lau, once again, he drawing Space Ghost like an absolute Chad, even when he gets his ass kicked. I can't wait. I just know it. It's going to happen. Jonathan Lau will be drawing Batman in the future. I can't wait for it. This guy deserves it. This is a fantastic series.
Yeah, Jonathan Lau, he's really good, but his style is just meant for superhero comics.
Absolutely.
I hope he gets a good run on this, and then moves into something with DC or Marvel, and hopefully has a good writer with him. But yeah, this is. I mean, look, I caught up with the Space Ghost for Max's stream, and it really surprised me with how fun it is, how action heavy it is. It's not afraid to go a little intense at times with the action. So I welcome it, and it's had just little moments of touching back on his past and his family that was lost. And when it does, it's handled really, really well. So, yeah, I agree with everything you said and more. If you're not reading Space Ghost because maybe you dislike David Pepose, just give the book a shot.
You will be surprised. You will be absolutely surprised when you read this. You'll be like, this is the same guy? Who the hell is this? It's like reading a Josh Williamson comic from Skybound. It's like, this is Josh Williamson? Yeah.
Agreed. Because I was not on the Josh Williamson train.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Moving on to the top. We're moving into our top 5.
Moving on up to the east side.
That's right. All right, we're gonna kick things off with my number 5 pick, and I'm already just gonna say, like, again, I struggled a little this month. It's not that there was a lot of shit, but there were a shit ton of mediocre. Like, yeah, it was fine. So I had to really find stuff that I thought elevated just a little bit above fine, at least until we get into the top 3, I would say. But my first pick is Green Lantern and Green Arrow World's Finest Special number 1. This is also written by Jeremy Adams, art by Lucas Meyer, and colors by Marcelo Maiolo. This isn't bad by any means. This is fun, but it's just a one-off kind of like, side quest adventure type story. It's laid back. It's not too serious. I have some kind of qualms with it, just in terms of Deathstroke, but
yeah, it's a question. I would say I have more questions about how that works.
Yeah. But again, like, it was fun seeing Ollie and Hal just hanging out together, traveling. It had a good sense of humor to it, and
fantastic art. Yeah,
fantastic art, and again, just fun. And we've been getting quite a bit of fun this past year, but we weren't getting quite a bit of fun, like 3 years leading up to this.
No.
But for me, this just yet again shows how well Jeremy is at kind of understanding the characters that he's working with and making sure that they're represented correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he writes his voices for Hal and Ollie. Perfect. Pitch perfect.
Yeah. Agreed. And, he manages to write Ollie with that, social justice warrior tinge, but it's not obnoxious, it's not preachy, and it made me smirk because I'm like, this is Ollie. Like, this works.
Yeah, exactly. That's his personality.
It 100%. It didn't feel out of character. It didn't feel like it was trying too hard. It's just who he is. So I appreciated that. But yeah, fun issue. If you want something just kind of like a nice palate cleanser, I would say pick this up, read it, enjoy it, and then go from there and look at other Jeremy Adams stuff, specifically Green Lantern. And I think he's doing a Green Arrow book too, right?
No, I think that's Chris Condon that's doing the Green Arrow. That
is Chris Condon. That's right. Right. Cool. Drew, moving on to your number 5 pick for the month of December. You picked Green Lantern number 18, written by Jeremy. Well, what do you know? Written by Jeremy Adams, with art by Zermanico and colors by Romulo Fajardo Jr. So tell us about this book. Yeah, look, there's a lot going on in Green Lantern right now. So what's happening in this book?
Oh, man. What I love about Jeremy Adams' current run of Green Lantern is that everything he is doing is of an epic event scale. But what's fantastic about that is that he's been able to contain that within Green Lantern itself. So it doesn't have to be in Flash, Justice League, Superman, Batman, whatever. It's self-contained, and I love it for that. And it feels so much grander and bigger and so much cooler. In fact, he is going bigger. He isn't subverting expectations. He is exploding those expectations, giving us more than what we thought in this. And it's fantastic what he does with the lanterns, what he does with Oa and everything in this. I love it. The fights are fantastic. The art is beautiful. And by the end of this issue, it's shit's getting crazy. That's all I got to say. And I cannot wait for the next series. It's a shame it got delayed. I wish it was coming out. Yeah. But I cannot wait. He has brought new life in the Green Lantern. It's fantastic. He is the best writer at DC Comics right now.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a slow start with his Green Lantern run.
Yes, I believe it was. Yeah, I remember reading the first issue. It's like, well, this isn't exactly what I thought.
All right,
but each issue got significantly better.
Correct. Yeah. And he had an interruption in the middle of it, which
thanks to and even with the interruption, it was still a fantastic issue.
Yeah. So good work. If you're wanting some of those like classic story, like superhero stories that feel just, I don't even want to say nostalgic because I feel like it's the wrong word to use, but it's just going back to the roots. Like I feel like what Jeremy Adams is doing kind of encompasses what happened when DC first launched Rebirth and everything kind of got back to status quo. I feel like Jeremy Adams is pulling things back to status quo for the characters, but then kind of pulling what Jeff Johns does of looking at what's the most natural progression of storytelling that can take place and how can we elevate it. And he's just kind of doing that, and he's proving to do that time and time again. So all the praise for this book. Go check it out. We have Sergeant Giratina popping in the house, and he said, hit like and share, everyone. Yes, I would love for you to hit like. We currently have 18 people watching. If you're on the Twitter side, come to the YouTube side, hit that like button, and we will go from there. Drew, we're moving into our number 4 picks, and before I show my pick, you can't cringe, okay?
I'll try not to.
Okay, it's not a distillery book.
Okay, that's good.
But it is a Marvel book.
Oh.
And I know. And it's a Marvel book that in its entire concept, I hate. I wish it didn't exist. The idea of these characters make me cringe. But there's a however. So, with that being said...
Wait a minute. It's not Exceptional X-Men. It can't be.
Oh, God, no. Negative. Well, they're past issue number 1 anyways. So my number 4 debut for December 2024 is actually Kidpool and Spider-Boy. Now, hold on, because I heard a sigh. Just hold on. I can't stand Deadpool. I hate what they've done to him. I hate what he's become, and I hate what writers try to do with him. And now we've got Kidpool, which is objectively even worse. And on top of that, we have another fucking spider person that's running around.
Spider-Boy.
But it's a kid, and I'm just like, I don't want it. I don't want any of this. But then I saw Christopher Yost, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot.
He's good. I liked his Uncanny X-Force run he did. It was good.
Christopher, and he did the Red Robin run for DC, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's right.
So because it was Christopher Yost, I was like, you know what? I will give it a shot. And I will say, this book is not for me. I don't like these fun, cutesy books. That's the comedy. But I will say this leans way more into the Super Sons type of fun element, and way less out of this. Like, we're gonna throw a bunch of fart jokes, and I'm gonna make
finger guns and fake mustaches, and
yes, like the humor that's here, while kind of written at a step down from vulgar because 2 kids. It's actually relative. Like, I chuckled more than once while reading this. So I was like, you know what, Chris, I will give you a round of applause. Congratulations. You took what so many people have tried to do and you did it well. Again, not my thing, but I will respect what you did and how well you did it. Because it was actually fun. The humor was actually funny. And he did a good job. So who would have thought that the first Marvel book that popped up on my list in forever, I almost said years, but it hasn't been years. We haven't been doing this show for years, would be Deadpool and Spider-Boy. Like, what the hell is going on? So
you surprised me. I was not expecting that.
I'm getting shit in the chat. So Max is calling me gay. I mean, I came out of the closet in 2007, so duh.
Too late, Max.
Zach's put yikes. Listen, it's actually, I'll have to post some pages on Twitter, but it was actually a fun book. It's a cute, fun book. So if you want something that maybe like you can enjoy with your kids, this is the pick. And Zach's put Christopher Yost, take a seat. Look, he's good. He's actually a competent writer, which is rare.
Is that a Catch a Predator reference?
Is that a Catch a Predator?
Take a seat?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Are there brownies on the counter? That's how you know. Listen, if you walk into a house and you see brownies on the counter, turn and run. Oh God! Oh no! I've reached shill status, and I'm gonna go on Coy Jandro's channel next. Oh man, the fall from grace. The fall from grace. By the way, unless plans change, we're going to be pulling some top 2024 lists from other channels and YouTubers and reviewing them on Max's channel Friday. And
Yeah.
I swear to God, if we don't go over Koi's list, I'm going to lose my mind. But I'm also going to lose my mind while going over Koi's list because it's that bad. But
Yeah,
hopefully,
that's just one of them. I know Rockin' Robbie's gonna be another. And
which was
who knows what else?
Rockin' Robbie's was honestly out of the ones that I watched was like the best one. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? All right, Drew, your number 4 pick for December 2024 is G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 312, written by Larry Hama, Chris Mooneyham returning to art, and colors by Francesca Segala. So this is not part of the Energon universe, G.I. Joe. This is the original kind of G.I. Joe run, still running its course. Did this come back into play because Mooneyham returned, or
yeah.
did Larry also deliver a solid script?
Well, both. I'll say both because what Larry's doing here with G.I. Joe, American Hero, like there are like different. There's like 3 or 4 different stories going on here, like 3 or 4 different groups we're following here, and it's insane. Like you have the Cobra group, then you have some of the ninjas, and you have the regular Joes, then you have Destro's group, and they're all fighting, and then you have Serpentor. It's like holy, it's going all over the place. Like, I don't think I've ever read a G.I. Joe issue. I don't want to say Scatterbrain. Scatterbrain's too mean. It's not because it's not Scatterbrain. Like, but so many side stories, so many like subplots going on here. It is so wild. And on top of that, you have Chris Mooneyham on the art. His art is so perfect for G.I. Joe and the story. How he illustrates Serpentor, like the Serpentor zombie, it's fucking amazing. I love it. And all the fights are beautifully illustrated. And you can really tell, like, this story is taking a turn toward Destro. Destro is kind of like becoming the focal point of the story. And it's going to be getting interesting in the next few issues. And I can't wait. I highly recommend everyone read G.I. Joe. I don't believe G.I. Joe has been this amazing in decades. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think the fun thing is, even though this isn't in the Energon universe, I think the attention that the Energon universe pulled, I think kind of pushed Larry Hama to really step up. And it's not to say that he wasn't delivering before, but when you're around other creative people and you're kind of in that universe, it inspires you to do better and push yourself. And I feel like he's pushing himself because I think he's making a statement to say, like, hey, like, I get this new thing is getting a lot of attention and spotlight, and great, it deserves it, but I just want you to know, like, we've been good since the beginning.
And you know what, I love what you just said about that, and I really agree with that about Larry. And
Yeah.
what's very interesting, a lot of you can kind of see it in creatives as they get older. They just lose that edge. They lose that sharpness.
Yeah.
They lose that darkness. They're too afraid to go to certain places. They don't get there anymore, and they really kind of hold back. They don't have that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And with Larry, you really see that he is bringing the heat with these stories, and Chris is really accentuating the heat in those stories with his art, and it's beautiful. I mean, Larry he's a Vietnam vet. This guy is he's 80 or pushing 80 at this point.
Probably around that, yeah.
Yeah, and he is writing kick-ass stories. It can be done, and I love it. You just got to have that urge and will to do it. And a counterpoint to this, I mean, the issue isn't fully out yet, but I can see it in his art. Look, Jim Lee's Hush 2 coming out.
Oh yeah.
I don't see that heat. I don't see that that edge that he had. It's just, this looks completely phoned in. Whereas with this, no, there's heart, there's care, there's love, there's energy in this.
Agreed. Hama is 75, so yeah, he's up there in age, and usually you don't see these guys coming in to do. Honestly, most of your comic book creators don't even live to this age.
No,
so
they're lucky if they live until they're 40 at this point.
Yeah,
jeez,
it's rough. Real quick, just to clarify, Zax did say yes, it is a Catch a Predator reference.
Oh, was Chris one of those guys?
I don't think Chris. I mean the name of the host was Chris
Hansen.
Yeah. I think we're just running with that, but I don't think Chris.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think Chris Yost would be working in comics if.
Oh,
he had
come
been
on.
something. Yeah.
Come on.
I meant he would have been.
It's for Marvel we're talking about here. Come on.
That's true. Hopefully not. I really would like to continue liking Chris Yost. So please, God, no. But he did ask, is this book also full of children?
The plot thickens.
Oh, follow up though. Three Ninjas crossover?
I haven't seen Rocky Cold and Tum Tum yet, so I don't know.
Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily.
Slow it down, slow down.
Ooh, somebody got a ticket. Shut up.
Hey, shut up.
Not you, officer. The kids, man. Dude, I loved that. I started to say that film. I loved those films growing up. I gotta bust those back out at some point. I'm sure I'm gonna be like, God, this is so stupid, but it'll be great.
I'm sure the first one still holds up in some ways. I'm sure the jokes still. Yeah.
I feel like I really liked the second one. I mean, again, I was a kid, but I think the first two I really liked. We also have Vex Electronica in the house. Popcorn, Yellow Striped Smile. Welcome, little lady, my little brown lady. And we have the Fiend Machine coming in and referring to what will potentially be Max's stream this Friday, preparing for a bunch of number one as Wonder Woman by Tom King.
Or the Black Canary. Or
yeah. Dude, I still haven't read a single issue of that. Like, you sent those few panels in the chat, the group chat, and I was like, nope.
Unreadable.
Yeah, I don't know. I just when Lady Shiva, which I know this is more in the art instead of King, but when Lady Shiva looks more like Big Barda, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Lady Shiva's never been drawn like that ever in history. No.
Yep. No. All right, we're going to go ahead and move into our top three. Now, I will say this is where I can fully get behind my picks and go, you absolutely should 100% go get these. Coming in for my number 3 pick for December 2024 is Hellhunters number 4, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Adam Gorham and colors by Frank Martin. Did you sigh? Did you not like this?
I think it was all right. From what I recall, I think it was all right.
Yeah. So look, at first I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit because we're clearly dealing with Nazis, but at the same time, it's also 1944. So I had to be
I forgot this is the first appearance of that Ghost Rider from 44.
Correct. Yeah. So you have that American soldier that, so yeah, look, it's an Elseworld type. Well, is it an Elseworld type thing?
I'm assuming. I thought it was in continuity.
Oh, is it in continuity?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will, wait till later to decide if I'm going to put it in my headcanon or not. But this whole first issue kind of introduces us to this Ghost Rider during World War II, and I thought it was a solid issue. It's got some really kind of creepy, intense scenes in it, and I enjoyed it. Like, it was a solid start. I don't know if each issue is just going to focus on a character and then they all come together towards the end or what, but this was pretty much almost 100% nothing but this Ghost Rider. And then you got Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos with Peggy there for like a hot second. But for me, it was better than what I was expecting because I've come to really expect nothing from Marvel, and I enjoyed it and I had fun reading it, and I'm looking forward to the next issue. So. Any other comments from you, Drewski?
No, I thought it was fine, and so this Ghost Rider, he appeared in the current Incredible Hulk run by Philip Kennedy Johnson. So I think this is his origin story. Yeah, I thought it was a perfectly fine issue.
Yeah, Philip Kennedy Johnson usually is reliable.
Yes.
I'm not going to say great. He's had moments of delivering really good stuff, but overall, I'd say reliable. So that's
And the one thing that keeps me from picking up the huge collection of the Superman on World thing is that it went on too long. It went on several issues way too long. It should have ended sooner, which was a shame.
Yeah, there was a lot of weirdness going on. I mean, even within DC, within the Superman office, there's a lot of really strange things going on at that time. So I will forgive him for that because I don't think that's fully on him. But yeah, I will agree that it did go on just a little too long. Moving on to your number 3 pick for December 2024, we have Prairie Gods number 3. Look, I'm not even going to say written by, art by, colors by. This is just Shane Connery Volk. This is, I think, was it Mad Cave?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think this was Mad Cave realizing they had something really good with this guy from Nottingham, decided to give him a shot and let him write something. He wrote something. They realized it was good. They're like, okay, let's just keep trying this. And we're getting one hell of a story here. So this is an anthology series, but go ahead and tell us about this issue in particular.
Yeah, this issue in particular takes place in World War One. One of our, I think it's our lead character from the first issue. Actually, he's meeting up with one of his old friends who is actually 124 years old from World War One, and you might be wondering how the hell is this guy still alive at 124 years old? Well, this is his story. We find out how he's still alive. But the more important to me, the more important thing about this issue is the fact that, like I said, you said this is illustrated by Shane Connery Volk. How he illustrates the trenches, the soldiers, the emotions, how dirty, grimy, disgusting, beat up, blown up, everything looked. It feels absolutely perfect. You get the mood of what that time was like. You know what you should be feeling, just how this was the worst time in probably one of the worst times in human history, World War One. And for this guy to survive, and we see what he does, what he has to go through, and ultimately at the end, what it makes that little twist. It's like, oh, okay, but yeah, it is a very, very good issue, very interesting issue. It's a wild issue. Yeah, it's like reading the Twilight Zone. There's always going to be that twist, and yeah, I recommend everyone check this out. If you're not familiar with World War One, I would say Shane Connery Volk does a great job of encapsulating of what it looked and felt like during that time.
Did Wonder Woman show up in No Man's Land?
I think she might have been. No, she wasn't in the back. Maybe she was in the background. I don't know, but okay. I can't confirm. I cannot confirm that.
Yeah. Gonna get my magnifying glass and go check that out. No, I think this is exciting. I kind of love this resurgence of anthology books to give these kind of one-shot type stories that may or may not have connections with other issues. We've clearly seen it going on with a book. Shall we name the book by a certain writer? Your brother seems to love that title, but not so much anymore. But we've got this. We've got Hyde Street. I'm referring to Ice Cream Man. I feel like we're kind of seeing a little bit of a resurgence of these anthologies, and but
as you, I think you'll agree with me on this, Josh, is that some are doing it better than others.
Oh, 100%. The horror anthologies have been crap.
Yes, they have. But I will say the two standouts so far have been Prairie Gods and Ice Cream Man. Most of the others have just been, it's like, what? Oh, God, okay. What was great about the old school anthologies, like Vault of Horror, Tales from the Crypt, Shock Suspense stories, they were not politically motivated. They were not ideologically driven. When you read the ones today, in whether it's the new Creepshow run or Epitaphs from Beyond or whatever, they are very ideologically driven stories, and they're not good. But with these, well, most of them, outside of one in particular from Ice Cream Man, are really fun issues.
Yeah, I would even say don't fully leave out Hyde Street. I don't think it's fully hit its thing.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, High Street is fun.
Devour.
Yeah, High Street's been good so far.
Agreed. No, I can't wait to see what Shane does moving forward, because I feel like this is just like the start of his career really kind of blowing up.
Absolutely.
And I don't foresee him ever being like an ongoing monthly artist for one of the big two, but I see him doing like a mini or maxi series that's a special, like almost like a Black Label Prestige. Like, here's the story. There you go.
Yeah, you know what? This would be a long shot. It's kind of a deep pull. Well, actually, there's two or three things I can see him do. I could see him doing like a Warlord story for DC.
Yeah.
Maybe a Deathstroke. But really, I mean, I could see this guy on Conan.
Yeah.
But if you were to do like a one shot for anyone at Marvel, probably be Wolverine, I would say.
100%. And I would want that to be one of those, like, not prestige format, but just like the kind of prestige, whatever you want to call that, out of continuity. Here's a story. We're just going to give you a damn good story.
Yeah. No holds barred.
Yeah. Let him, and the grittiness and roughness of his art will work perfectly for that. So, or Punisher, maybe. I'm just throwing more hints out there. No,
yeah, no. I would love to, but I don't think we're going to be that lucky, which is a shame.
Oh well, we can wish. If wishes were horses.
Yes.
We're gonna. Oh, JD Petty is heading to bed. Good night, sir. Thank you for hopping in tonight. I do appreciate it. Yeah. We're going to move on to our number 2 picks for the month of December 2024. And coming in for my pick, I have The New Gods #1, written by Ram V, art by Evan Cagle and Jorge Fornes, with colors by Francesca Segala. Yet again, or I shouldn't say yet again, but this was one of your honorable mentions. And then I have it looped in at my number 2 for the month. A lot of people like to. I feel like it's become popular to shit on Ram V.
He's earned it.
Some of his stuff is boring. It moves slow.
Yes,
but I still think he's better than like 90. Even his boring stuff is typically better than like 90% of what the big two put out. But yeah, I think when he lands, he typically does a damn good job. And it looks like this is going to be one of those stories. I thought it never reaches like huge, like high octane type storytelling, but it's compelling.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and honestly, going into this issue, I was not looking forward to it. Honestly, because after his Detective Comics run, I was getting ready. I was getting ready to say, all right, smoke him if you got him. It's going to be a long night, But imagine my shock. Yeah, it moved pretty well. It flowed pretty well. And the art was fantastic by Evan Cagle. And I love the little touches, the little things he did. Like one thing I love the most, I told it to Wes, was it's like the image inducer that Orion had, where he was making himself look pretty, but he turns it off and you see like, oh shit, he looks just like a younger Darkseid. Yeah, really, like, okay, that's cool. I like that. But it's very interesting in this story where it's going with this child and what Orion is telling Mr. Miracle to do. In High Father, you really just see this other side of High Father we really haven't seen before. It's like, I never would have thought would have expected High Father to do something like this. But all right, this is getting interesting. Maybe this is like a God telling Abraham to do something. I think this is really that story, God and Abraham. But
could be right.
We'll see. Yeah. Because Anyway, regardless, is a fun issue.
Agreed. I thought it was. I kind of was a little uncertain coming into this because I tend to find that Ram V is best read in a collected format, and clearly that's not how these issues get released. And for me, it can be hard to stay motivated to read these books. And I was a little concerned that it was really going to drag because whenever you're dealing with the New Gods, you're dealing with a ton of characters and a lot of just, mythology, and you can
get a lot of backstory.
Yeah. It's very easy to get just like stuck in that mire. And he did a really good job of just pinpointing what he needed to, but really kind of just let's move this forward and kind of get this momentum going.
He told us just enough what we needed to know.
and
Yeah.
he didn't pull. I'm sorry, I hate to say this. He didn't pull a John Malin when he did his Kickstarter book.
Yeah.
Whatever it was called, where it was just time for the history of mankind, the whole issue, and it's like, are we gonna have any fun at all in this damn book? It's just
Nope.
it's like reading stereo instructions. This damn comic, but
Yeah.
but with Rom V, at least you could tell he was having some fun with this, and I did
Agreed.
too.
Yeah. And he's got that kind of flowery, I that sounds gay to say, but he's got that kind of poetic nature to his writing that also kind of works for these godlike beings that I again, art, writing, story was all pretty damn solid. And I was
Yes.
happy to see it here. Before we move on to your pick, I got to point out we've got Jana in the house. Jana Banana, sub donors. What's up, Jana? I will be on a stream with Jana on
Whoa.
February 13th, I believe, on Nadia's channel, and they're having a Galentine's, and myself and another male are gonna be honorary gals for the night. So it's gonna be
So
fun.
is it Max? It's you and Max, right?
No, sadly no. It's gonna be Leon, but he might show up as Leona, so who knows? But Max would fit right in. Why not? But she also put, I know Mr. Miracle. He's great in bed, and then he
What,
escapes.
who told you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Barda. She's like, he's bomb. Moving on to your number 2 pick, Drew. We have Max thought you were funny. One of the gals.
I made a funny.
I made a funny. Drew, moving on to your number 2 pick for December 2024. We've got Redcoat number 8. Hoorah! This is written by Jeff Johns, art by Brian Hitch, colors by Brad Anderson. I'm going to throw this out there because I had to catch up on Redcoat. I'd read the first 2 issues, was like, caught up for Max's channel, and it is, in my opinion, the best Ghost Machine book that's out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruh. This issue, holy shit. I fucking loved this issue. So this issue we follow, it's 1873. We're in the middle of Kansas, and there is this family that we're introduced to. There's a stranger that shows up at this family's door, and immediately they kill this guy. They just completely murder this guy, and then they have to get rid of him because another guy is approaching the house shortly. And wouldn't you know it, it's Simon Pure. But it turns out that this family in Kansas was actually a real serial killing family from Kansas back in the day. They murdered, I think, at least that they were able to recover or discover were 20 people at least they murdered, and they suddenly disappeared. They've been able to find them ever since then. They just up and vanished. But in this, they meet Simon Pure, and let's just say it doesn't turn out too well for one of the sides. But yeah, I had an absolute blast with this issue, and on top of that, we get name dropped Pecos Bill, and I got ecstatic because I fucking called it on Wes's channel that
You did.
that hey, he name dropped Johnny Appleseed. We could probably get him Pecos Bill, maybe some Paul Bunyan, the Blue Ox, babe, and sure enough, we got Pecos Bill, and we're going to be getting into the American mythology, and I am all the more excited for that. And then we also got some imagery drops in that this is going to be tying into the other Ghost Machine books. So this was a very fun issue, and all around what it's setting up for the future. And as well as the art by Brian Hitch is fantastic in this. Everyone needs to check out Redcoat. It's another book. It's progressively gotten better.
Agreed. And I know we talked about this before. It's just the endless potential that this book has for the stories that it can tell because of history, because of folklore, the characters. You know, there's so many aspects there. But I think sometimes when we say things like that, we don't fully articulate that, like, that endless potential also converts to excitement. And that's really what this book has going for it. And I think Simon Pure is a fun kind of cheeky asshole of a character, but he's got a really good heart, and he doesn't show it all the time, but you get moments of it. And you had that issue number 7 that for me helped solidify that, yes, this book literally gives you everything. It's got humor, it's got action, it's got heart. Has a romance there, but it's kind of he's kind of like a Captain Jack Sparrow type vibe. Like Simon Pure.
Yes.
But a little more grounded and definitely more violent. But yeah, a lot of fun. So I'm loving this book. I'm glad that it's at your number 2. I hope more people pick it up. It blows my mind that my comic shop is pushing this, but I'm hearing a lot of comic shops aren't really pushing Ghost Machine hard. And for me, I'm like, why not? Like, they're good books. Push them.
I think they gotta wait for those books to show up from Diamond.
Oh, chapter 11.
Oh,
snap. We'll talk about that next week too.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our number 1 picks for the month of December 2024. I will say at this point, my pick should be obvious if you keep up with what releases and when, because there's only 3 really good books for the month of December. But mine is Batman Dark Patterns, number 1, written by Dan Waters with art by Hayden Sherman and colors by Triona Farrell. This is a kind of limited series that's covering Batman in his early years. I typically love these types of books because they keep it street focused, and that's where I like my Batman is on the streets. Hey. Yeah, I thought this was a fantastic read, and I was really surprised by the art because this is the same artist as not Ultimate, but Absolute Wonder Woman, which I haven't been as impressed with. But I felt like he tried substantially harder for this.
Hold on, wait a second. This is the same guy who's doing Absolute Wonder Woman,
isn't it? Isn't that what we figured out?
Is it?
Hold on. Don't make me a liar.
If this is true, you just blew my mind right now. Holy crap!
Yeah, he's been doing Absolute Wonder Woman.
What? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Clearly, his A game is here on Dark Patterns. Because whatever he's doing on Wonder Woman, that is his B or C game. He is phoning that shit in. This is where it's at right here.
Agreed. Yeah, he's doing Absolute Wonder Woman.
Jeez.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say Absolute Wonder Woman looks like shit, but there's a distinct difference between the quality in this book and the quality in that book. But no, I love this. This is Batman early on. He's still kind of figuring things out. Nothing is going perfectly according to plan. He's still kind of building that relationship with Gordon. You get a character introduced that's also working with the police that I think it's either a red herring or they made it too obvious that he's going to be a bad guy, but he's a quirky, odd forensics type character. And I kind of hope he isn't the bad guy because, one, I don't want it to be that obvious. And I would like to introduce another character in like Gotham lore that's a new character, but kind of fits because this guy is a little bonkers, but he works for Gotham. So,
yeah.
Kooky indeed, with some crazy eyes and potentially an addiction to embalming fluids. But yeah. I'll take it at this point. But I kind of feel like I'm learning that Dan Waters does best in Gotham, and we should just keep him in Gotham.
I really think if I didn't want to write Ragman so badly, I would have Dan Waters write Ragman. I feel like he would. I would say Dan Waters fits well in Gotham, in like the seedy underbelly of Gotham, like the small, the ghettos of Gotham. Just the areas that have been like neglected by Batman and the other vigilantes, and that's where he belongs best.
Agreed. Yeah, I to me the best thing he's written for DC was that Arkham. Was it?
Arkham Order.
Arkham Order. Yeah. And he did stuff with the 10-eyed man that was so creepy but so good and captivating. And I hope we get to see some of that slight weirdness here, but that kind of darker edge here as well. But
how he wrote Azrael in that run was amazing. Loved.
Agreed. but yeah, really good start to the series. So we'll see what happens as we move forward. I'll leave it at that. Drew, we're gonna move on to your number one pick for December 2024, and it is
Dun, dun, dun.
Transformers number 15, written by Daniel Warren Johnson, art by Jorge Corona, and colors by Mike Spicer. Hey, who's that guy in the shadows right there?
I don't know if we want to say who it is, but
Okay.
let's just say he is a giant. He's one of the giant Rock'em Sock'em robots
Oh.
who will be appearing, and let's just say he has a big role to fill in the next issue against Devastator, and it gets good. That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna say the name, but you gotta read it to find out who it is.
I will just tease one thing. This issue happened, and then I think it was the January issue, wasn't it? Has the January issue already dropped?
Yes, it did. Yeah, last week.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're real quick to text the group about that issue. So I feel like we'll definitely have a lot to talk about next month. But yeah, look, it's rare these days. This is so freaking sad to say. It's rare these days that we get 15 issues into a book and it's still kind of like firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, let alone the same, like relatively the same creatives.
Yeah,
and Daniel Warren Johnson has been on all 15 issues, and whether it's been writing or art or both, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, agreed. Even though I put it lower on my list for the year than y'all did, just a little plug to go watch our top 24 list on Max's channel. Yes, I will agree. And Max comes in to agree that the last week's issue for January was wild, all caps. So
yeah, these last two issues, more so issue 16, some of the best pages we have seen out of the new Transformers series. Period. Jorge Corona, it is nuts what he does in the next issue. But even in this issue, the art is fantastic. What he's doing with whether it's Starscream on that tank he's motorized around, it's hilarious. How he's drawing all of the Decepticons, the Autobots, all like pretty much blown up and like pretty much hanging on by a thread at this point. They're all like disheveled. It's great stuff. And on top of that, you have Daniel Warren Johnson writing all these little sub stories, like all these like subplots with all these different characters, all these different factions going on, and I love it for that. And because we're on Cybertron, we're on Earth, and we are learning more about how the Earthlings are kind of trying to fight back against the Decepticons and Autobots. They're not really deciphering the side; they don't care. But at the same time, we're seeing something's going on with Optimus Prime. Something weird is going on. He's kind of losing control. He's doing things that are kind of out of his nature. We don't know why in this issue just yet, but maybe in issue 16 we find out what could be causing it. And if you don't say "oh shit" by the end of issue 16, there's a problem. But the art, the story, the dialogue, pacing, I fucking love Transformers. Transformers has not been this great in like I said, since All Hail Megatron, and that was almost over 15 years ago. Yeah. This is fantastic. Everyone needs to be reading Transformers. It's amazing.
Yeah. So look, if you've been reading the book or were reading the book and fell off, this is your cue to catch back up. Or maybe you were considering like, oh, I might trade weight this. Just keep going with the monthlies, man. Drew, that is going to wrap up our list. Before we get to announcements for stuff that's coming up, I do want to go ahead and plug this one more time because I think it deserves it. So again, this is going to be an exclusive cover that's for MegaCon. Is that correct?
That's correct. For MegaCon next month. I think, just under a month from now.
Yeah.
We're going to be limiting this to anywhere between 50 to 100 copies. Period. That's it. And this is going to be the cover for Unholy Nightmare number 2 preview edition. So yes, like I said, issue 2 is pretty much almost done by Aurelio on the art. So he's got 9 pages left to go. And then it's going to be off the colors and lettering. And then we're going to be going to Kickstarter. But yeah, anyway, this is the preview edition for issue 2. And our once again done by Dolan. He is fantastic. We're going to be seeing more of him in the future. So if you're at MegaCon, stop by the booth, say hi, pick up a copy or two, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hell yeah. And yeah, I'm just gonna praise the hell out of Udon because he's freaking fantastic. That Dolan guy is okay as well, but
yeah, he can be a bit much sometimes.
What a loser. No,
Yeah,
I'm
fair
kidding.
enough.
We love you, Drew.
Oh,
You're welcome. Just not Dolan. We love Drew, not Dolan. No, I'm
yes,
kidding.
not Dolan. Yeah, he's a bit of a
Asshole.
blower. Yeah,
The
asshole,
guy writes comics. I mean, no, I'm kidding.
He's a slave driving asshole on his artists. Yeah.
No, I'm really excited for you're gonna have I feel like we've been saying this since 2023, but we're like 2023, like Drew's got so much stuff coming out. We hit 2024, some of the stuff comes out, we're like, yeah, this is great, but he's got so much more stuff coming out. So it's been a fun progression. So I'm excited for you.
Yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, Drew's like, I just want to sleep.
I just want all these projects I've been working on for the last 2 years to finally come out.
Fair. Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't realize how long this takes, sometimes this is revealing that for you.
This is the business. Yeah,
it is. Well, Drew, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Dolan Waddick. You can find me on Instagram, Dolan_Waddick, and I'm just posting all my art and from my projects I got coming up, and that's it. And you'll be seeing more stuff I've got coming out for MegaCon as well as soon as I can reveal it. Because Unholy Nightmare, that's just one of them. I'm going to have at least 3 more.
Nice. As far as the channel, if you want to follow the channel, you can follow the channel on Twitter at @bypopped. And of course, we are here every Tuesday. Coming up, some of the shows next week, we're going to have Culture Popped coming back again. We're clearly going to talk gaming. We're going to talk Diamond. I'm sure we'll talk about a few other things that may or may not be happening in the media world, the TV, film, comics. And after that, we will wrap up January with our comic book club. And this month, we are covering Alan Moore's Saga of the Swamp Thing, Book 1.
Yeah.
So, this run is incredible. It's, I would say, legendary. It deserves that connotation. So I'm really excited to at least get this started. We will definitely pick back up the other books later on in our series. But I'm excited to just go ahead and jump into this now because, dear God, it's so good. So if you haven't read it, read it. If you've read it, pick it back up. And then I'll be announcing the panel for this shortly. But we're gonna have a good, nice little crew going. Oh yeah, look at him go.
Everyone, you need to get the absolute edition of Swamp Thing. I've got all the volumes. This is book 1. It's a slipcase. How it feels. It's like a felt. It feels amazing. It's got a built-in bookmark. It's so beautiful. Nice. Yes.
And the colors are slightly different in this than the other printed versions.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Love it. Man.
Good stuff.
John Tolliban, Stephen Bissett, winners.
God, I'm so excited to cover this. And Max, that little yuppie, he better be here for this one. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, trust me.
Are you listening, Maxwell Von Priestley? Are you listening? If you have work, tell them to go screw themselves. They won't mind. It's fine. I'll tell them if I need to. But yeah, super excited to get to this. And then as we move into February, the first Monday in February, oh my God, Max, don't you dare. He's coming in with Who's Alan Moore? Fired. We're shutting your channel down.
Jeez.
He's and now he's going, who's Swamp Thing was the little kid that you liked in DC All Winter. Mm. Yeah, there we go. Coming into the first Monday of February, we're going to have Marvelous Monday coming back. And this is an episode that we sadly filmed like forever ago. And
I was going to say, how long ago did we film this?
It's been a while, Drew. Don't shut up. We've got episodes ready to go. So we're going to get those back in rotation and going, and then we'll start filming new stuff as well. But Yeah, we have a discussion for X-Men 2000 that we'll have, and it was a great, fun conversation with the guys. And the real question was, did this movie hold up or not? And if you want to find out, you'll just have to tune in. And then launching the first Tuesday of February, I almost said December, Jesus, February, we'll be kicking off our new and improved top 5 comics, which we've got here. Yeah, the cover's new, but I'm going to make a point to start bringing in some of the internal art from each of these issues. That way we can showcase that as well and show more than just the cover. So I'm really excited to kind of get to that. Again, this will be the first Tuesday in February, so it's going to be more in time. We won't be coming in halfway through the month like we did now, and we're going to make sure. I know we're going to make sure this kicks off our month every month. Top 5 comics. We're going to be a little more poignant, a little more on time with these conversations, and go from there. But I'm really excited for what we have planned here for the new year. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you come join us on this little journey.
Yeah, join us. We have candy. Come to the dark.
Yeah, hi there, little boy. We got candy. We got some good candy for you.
Some popsicles.
Max is, being special, but all winter. I like Viking Deathstroke. Is he in the Swamp Man comic, Max? I love you and I hate you. Fiend Machine
kids.
also has, when Max said, who is Alan Moore, Fiend Machine put, he's Neil Gaiman's friend, which, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
hey, it's because of Alan Moore, pretty much, that Neil Gaiman has a career in comics.
I mean, true. Someone that Alan Moore is not friends with is Grant Morrison. They're two opposite wizards that they're like opposing magnetic forces. They push
One has
each other
brain power, the other has mind power. Yes.
Yeah, just craziness.
Yeah.
But no, Drew, I had a lot of fun going over these comics. I can't wait to discuss January when we get to it, and then I look forward to seeing you Friday on Max's channel where we go through some questionable top 10 lists for 2024.
Oh, I would say questionable beyond a shadow of doubt. Yeah, morally and objectionably questionable choices. Yeah.
Agreed. All right, brother. Well, we are going to call it a night, and I hope you guys chat. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. Make sure you let us know what your favorite books of December were. And then, again, I posted it in my community tab, but go check out Max's live stream of our top comics, because it was a lot of fun to have and discuss and call some of these jokers out for not reading things or having the wrong order. That's all I'm going to say. Someone, I won't say who, put Conan as the number 1. I love the book, but come on, man. Anyways, well, wasn't you? Was it you?
Yeah, I had Conan number 1.
You did. You did. Oh, God. Oh my God, I'm over here just trying to get back. Shit, I forgot you did. Okay, seriously, go watch it. It's a fun video, though. Until then, I will see you guys next week. Thank you for coming. And I didn't even queue up my video because I'm over here laughing at myself. We will see you guys next week. Thanks again.